Welcome to Real Talk with the Town, where I sit down with the Marana staff to answer your burning questions about our beautiful community. My name is Terry Rozema, and I'm the town manager for the town, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Talk with the Town. I'm Terry Rozema, town manager for the town of Marana, and today I have with me...
Hi, Terry. It's Jason Angell, Development Services Director with the town.
Very good. You got that one right, Jason. Well done. You're
thanks.
on a roll.
Appreciate it.
So we've got a topic here, and it's not a topic that is just exclusive to the town of Marana. It's pretty much a nationwide issue and problem, and we're going to get into that here in just a minute. But I want to do a little icebreaker here with you, Jason. Okay. You're a big football fan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Big Ten?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Best conference out there.
Best conference out there, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. So as a Michigan fan and you being a
huge Wisconsin Badger fan.
Yeah, and I know that because I walk into your office and you got a huge Wisconsin Badger flag and a Wisconsin football helmet. And you guys just got a new coach. How you feeling about that?
I'm super excited about our new coach. Fickell's going to change up the way that the Badgers have played football for a number of decades, and really excited to see it come to the next level.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. As a Michigan fan, I'm happy for you guys, but I'm a little bit nervous because you guys are definitely going to take it to a whole new level in Fickell.
I think we need to get up to Michigan and Ohio State's level.
Yeah.
And I think this
I
think
you will. I think that this is going to get you guys over the hump.
There we go.
But we're not here to talk about football as much as I'd love to spend time talking about my Michigan Wolverines and the fact that they're in the Fiesta Bowl, and I got tickets to it, and I'm going to be on the 18th row from the field.
That's awesome.
That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about affordable housing, and I'm going to read this. It's kind of a lengthy statement from somebody in our community, and it says, rumor has it that many businesses and facilities are opening in the center of the town of Marana, including an aquatic and sports center, community center, but these places will need workers. Unfortunately, rents in the town of Marana start at around 80% of a typical non-manager's monthly net salary. With many rents exceeding a typical monthly salary, while managers can easily move into Gladden Farms, workers will need to commute from the center of Tucson. That doesn't sound appealing, considering there is zero public transportation between the cities. So, let's talk a little bit about what's being done, because people are, it's evident. The cost of housing has gone through the roof. Young people with lower wages are finding difficulty purchasing homes, even renting right now.
Yeah.
So what's going to be done about this?
Yeah, you're 100% accurate. This is a hot topic around the nation, affordable housing. And actually the state of Arizona is going through and doing a housing study, a housing assessment on behalf of the entire state. And part of that is related to affordable housing. I happen to be on the advisory committee that is part of that overall state review process. And they actually just got done with their draft report that they presented to the committee. And we anticipate that a final assessment will be revealed sometime shortly after the first of the year. And then with that, some recommendations moving forward. Now, those recommendations are going to be very high level that will apply to the state, the legislature to consider. But where does that leave us? And I think that's, as we've talked, Terry, in the past, I think that's a great springboard for us to then dive a little deeper with the mayor and council as to what do we want to do and what is our role exactly in determining whether it's market rate or affordable or, custom.
Yeah, and what is affordable? What does that even mean?
Yeah, the general definition of affordable housing is anything below the median household income as determined by the geographical area. So in our area, the last time we looked at it when we did our annual development activity report, the median home price was, I believe it was like $340,000.
So affordable would be anything below $340,000.
Yeah, and I understand. That's not, in my definition, that wouldn't be considered affordable. I would say affordable in our community is probably more in that, $200,000 to $250,000. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to rents have also skyrocketed. in the
Yeah.
last couple of years. What is affordable rents? I mean, when we're trying to attract young professionals to this community, somebody that has 4 years or 6 years or many years of college debt, on top of also having to pay for a car and the bills, and then what is an acceptable rent for a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment for an individual like that, or a single mother with a couple of kids that has to worry about getting them to and from
Right.
schools. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's a lot that goes into general cost of living and proximity. So I totally agree. You know, affordable housing is something that needs to be considered, but it also comes with many other layers, which includes public transportation, and that's another area that, you know, what is the town's role in that? And generally, public transportation is regional. It's not just to get from one side of Marana to the other. It's
Right,
around
and
Tucson.
we have a pretty unique situation here in Marana because we're 127 square miles.
Correct.
And public transportation going out to Avra Valley and then way up to North Marana and then all the way out to East Marana and Dove Mountain and all around those areas. It's a pretty difficult problem to solve, but one that's important nonetheless, and one that is certainly under discussion with the RTA and RTA Next. I'm going to read another quote here. Considering the abundance of empty lots, are there any plans to build affordable housing units or rent? Or even better, are there any plans to build more modest residences that working class people could consider buying? Arizona is in one of the worst housing and tenant crises in U.S. in large part due to an abundance of oversized houses that almost nobody can afford anymore. It would be great to see a city innovative by offering something other than an endless sea of HOA subdivisions with occasional luxury apartments. So this is going again to the same, kind of the same mindset and discussion and conversation and question that I mentioned here a minute ago. So there is a lot of development going in our community. And you can look across and there's houses going up, there's apartment complexes going up, but a lot of those apartment complexes are not cheap either.
Yeah.
So what other kinds of things are being offered out there? Is there houses that people can rent in a community? Is there anybody coming forward with a product that is more affordable and unique in any way? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, some of the diversity that we've seen in the housing recently is the rental home market has come into not just Marana, but in the region. So we're interested to see how that really plays into the overall community. These are standard looking subdivisions that are going in, but they're going to have their own amenities, maybe a pool or a clubhouse or something to go with it. But they're rental homes, but it looks just like any other home that is owned by the general residents here. The others we have in the Mandarina neighborhood as well as down behind the Target is what we call the casita style or the Airy product, which is a detached, small like apartment, cottage style rental unit that is there. Put in little clusters and things of that nature.
What are the size of some of those?
In those two areas, they're going anywhere from 750 square feet all the way up to about 1,200 or 1,300 square feet.
Okay, so a pretty modest size residential unit that is for rent. What do you know the price point on those at all?
The price point on the Airy style ones, I believe those are starting out at anywhere from 1,100 and going upwards of, I think their 3-bedroom unit is looking to go closer to 1,800 per month.
Okay. So, in the grand scheme of things, in comparison to purchasing a house and all the other things that go with it, the property taxes and the insurance and all of those things, that could be considered affordable, depending on perhaps who you are and what your work occupation situation is.
Yeah.
So, what else?
Well, I think the other side of it is we've heard a lot from our council recently, and we share this with all of our developers. Our council is really looking for something new and unique in our community. We don't want to just continue to see the same cookie cutter style detached single family homes or the same apartment complex that's there. They're constantly asking for what's new, what's unique. So I think the language we use is diversity in housing is something we push quite a bit. What new products can be brought to this community, whether it's an affordable style or it's something of a new offering for our snowbirds, our retirees that move in, or the young professionals. We have no townhomes. Twin homes or attached products are very sparse in this area.
Very few.
Very few. And
I
when
mean,
they go
in
up,
127 square miles, I can think of maybe 2 or 3 in the entire town.
yeah. And in my years, back when I worked in Minnesota in the Twin Cities area, townhomes and twin homes were a great product and were going up all over. And that was at a time in which they saw a large influx of young professionals coming in. So
Interesting.
I think that's one way in which we can see, products being built closer to that 200,000, maybe even below, depending upon how many or the number of units. But we do need, and that's one of the things we've talked about in our general plan. It's called out for us to do a community housing assessment. And I think from the state's findings, and once we learn more of that, and we have a chance to digest it a little more, we'll be able to springboard into the conversation of we should perhaps do this community housing assessment, and really to be able for us to establish what is our expectations and where do we want to go, and then have something to truly push back on the developers and say, no, this is where we've identified the needs and this is the gaps we want to fill, and we need your help to fill those. And then we can talk about, how do we do that? Is it incentivizing it? Sorry.
No, you're hitting on a great thing here. And so what do you think? So you're talking about the conversations we've been having with the council. We've been doing presentations with the council about affordable housing, and so this is something that's been on the radar for the last couple of years now, and we've been having these discussions. But obviously we don't build houses.
Yeah.
Right? The town doesn't build houses, but we work with developers. So what do you think the odds are? I mean, how successful do you think we can be working with some of these developers to bring a different product? You described townhouses, twin home, and tell our listeners too what a twin home is or a twin house is.
Yeah, so I call it a twin home. Some may call it a duplex. It's two single-family units basically sandwiched together with a common wall that they share. But
Perfect.
It's separate living quarters, and you, in most cases, own your unit, and somebody owns the unit next to you.
Okay, so back to the question
Yeah.
of what do you think the likelihood that we'll have some success in this area?
I think there's great opportunity for us to have success. It's just finding the right balance of incentives because you don't want to over-incentivize to the point that a developer gets even more wealthy based upon a product. But at the same time, you've got to provide enough of an incentive to get them off of the dime of them just saying, well, this is what the market is dictating, and I've been doing this for 10 years, and so I'm going to continue to deliver the same product for 10 years because it's made me money for 10 years. No, we need to change or pivot their mindset a little bit through some sort of incentive.
Couldn't agree more. I really like the way you're thinking and what you're saying here. So talk to me here for a minute about manufactured homes. And there's a little bit different take on some of the manufactured. Now, a lot of people think about manufactured homes. They think about mobile homes. They think about something that's brought in on wheels and parked on a lot and can be driven away. But what's some of the product that is coming out right now that is considered manufactured homes, but isn't brought in on wheels?
Yeah, exactly. Manufactured homes right now are really, coming up as far as the quality that in which they've been built. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. A lot of people immediately think mobile homes, and they think back to the old days of when they were growing up, what a mobile home park was like and all that. Even today's mobile homes are very nice in what they're building and how they're delivering them. But for the most part, manufactured housing are homes that are built in segments within a controlled environment, basically within a building, a facility.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring them out to the site and they erect them like a Lego set.
Mm-hmm.
They build the housing panels so that you may have, in some cases they'll come in like two halves and they slap them together and then they finish the interior on site. In other cases, they bring them out in maybe 30 different panels and they erect that house on site. Still got a foundation. It's still anchored to the ground. There is no skirting that goes around it, and it's not that trailer element that I think many people gravitate to when they think of manufactured housing.
Yeah, and certainly not knocking,
No.
trailers and manufactured homes, but I think some people want something a little bit different. And we've had an opportunity to see some of these and had some people that have come forward and talked to us a little bit about that. And correct me if I'm wrong here, people would actually own the house.
Yeah.
It'd be their home, but they're renting the space.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, the most recent conversations we've had is you are part of a larger community where you own your unit, and the ground in which it's on and surrounds you is common space, community space, which the benefit to that is
You don't have to maintain it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like the sounds of that, actually. Yeah. Yeah. So what has been kind of the price point? Have we heard from the developers on what they're kind of thinking the price point? Is it going to be just as much as, a site-built stick home, or is it offered at a lower price?
We haven't gotten exact price points on those ones, but it'll definitely be far less than what the stick-built homes are, primarily because when you take out the lot cost, that's a big chunk. Most of our finished lot prices, are starting out at 50, 60,000 plus, depending upon the size of your lot and where you're located. And then you get some of your premiums and all that. But I mean, if you take out the general $60,000 off of let's say $300,000 home, you're already in the sub 200s,
Right.
It's nice.
Right.
And then we've seen a variety of footprints as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them only have a one-car garage. That's a lesser cost. Some of them have, smaller footprints, maybe 1,200 square feet for a three-bedroom. So it's all about the comfort that individuals have as to what their family needs are. If you're a retired empty nest couple, two people living in a three-bedroom home can do with less space in a gathering space than a family of five with
Sure.
3 active kids.
Sure, absolutely.
You need space.
Absolutely. Great point. Well, I don't know that I have any additional questions for you, Jason. Is there anything that you'd like to say in closing about this very important topic, one that we're working diligently on and talking to the council about, talking to developers about, as you've indicated, but anything else that you'd like to add about this very important topic?
I agree. It's a very important topic. And, as the housing industry has really changed in the last year and a half, as far as some of the conversations we've had here internally, I anticipate that this will continue to be a hot topic for the next couple of years. And I
Agreed.
look forward to having these and continuing these conversations, not just with our council and the development community, but as the community as a whole. Where can we go and how can we play a role in continuing to grow our community to cover all aspects that are needed?
Outstanding. Great conversations that need to be had and great work that needs to be done. We'll continue to work on those things and keep you informed. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time. Submit your questions by visiting maranaaz.gov/realtalk and we'll answer them right here. To receive notifications for new releases, remember to click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please follow the town on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on current news and events.